I know I wasn't the only one who saw just how much Mikasa was fiending in this episode. When that one, like, oh my goodness, that scene where they were just everything got so sentimental. You saw Mikasa reach in, and Aaron's like, "Ugh, okay, I'm gonna do this." It's just one. It seems like one of those moments in like in a movie where the girl's like, "Yeah, yeah, this romantic thing is about to happen," and then the guy's just like, "Oh, pizza." Yeah, I know you guys have seen those moments before. But anyways, this episode pretty much left off from where we from last week's episode, and that we were still in the middle of the battle, obviously, and we picked back up from the interaction between Eren and Mikasa and the Smiling Titan. Now, Hannes tried to put in work, but he wasn't ready, and it was just unfortunate to see that. Like, no matter how hard he fought, he just still couldn't do it, and ultimately lost his life. But I love the character development because remember how at the very beginning Hannes was scared, but he lost all fear. He lost the fear of dying, and ultimately it seemed like he was happy when we saw him looking from the hands of the Smiling Time. It seemed like he was just like, okay, I'm happy. I'm at peace with myself, and I think that was something that was very important to pay attention to. Now, again, back to after that, Aaron broke down crying because he wanted to turn into a Titan, but he couldn't. I don't know if he still hadn't replenished his strength or what, but he just couldn't. And so he was just crying because he couldn't do anything. And the emotion in that scene was crazy because I could feel it. Like, my TV was relatively loud. And I was like, holy cow, this is crazy. Like, I'm feeling for Aaron right now because it really sucks that, he couldn't do anything the first time his mom died. And here he is. He has the opportunity to do something this time, to save Hannes, to save Mikasa, and he still couldn't do anything. And so it really really sucked, and I felt bad for Aaron. And then we get to the part where Mikasa's just trying to cheer him up. She's like, "No, you can do something. You have done something. Thank you for saving me." And then she started fiending for that kiss. I was like, "Wait, I could have sworn I thought they weren't gonna go that route with Aaron and Mikasa. It seemed that they were gonna keep it more of like a brother sister role, a weird kind of relationship because of the route they had gone in the previous episodes. But it's weird because it seems like the author just kind of changed his mind. I guess he's like, well, we're gonna leave either he's gonna leave much to be desired, kind of like I don't know if you guys, I don't want to really get off topic, but very briefly, in Naruto, uh, before the pairings and whatnot, I don't want to spoil. Um, Naruto, the author Masashi Kishimoto wanted to keep Naruto in a love triangle to kind of keep it ambiguous as to who he would end up with just for the hell of it. But he already had the pairing in mind, so maybe that's what this author is trying to do. He's trying to keep it ambiguous as a means to just keep us excited, like, oh my goodness, this is really gonna happen. But in reality, he doesn't want Aaron to end up with Mikasa. I don't know, but it's pretty odd. But that happens, and then Aaron's like, okay, I muster up the strength. I can do this. I'm gonna save Mikasa. And with I don't know what he was thinking, but he was like, I'm gonna do something. And the Smiling Titan reaches to grab them, and he punches them, and he punches the Smiling Titan, and then all of a sudden something weird happens, and we see that Aaron has the ability to control mindless Titans. Now, that's apparently what the coordinate is. That's why Reiner and Bertolt wanted him, because there was a possibility that he had this power. And although it's unclear as to how he exactly activates it, like it is with a Titan shifter, when they want to shift into a Titan, it seems that he can just control Titans, and whoever he wants them to eat, they'll go eat because he hit the Smiling Titan, shout out a few words, and all the Titans came and just ripped the female or the Smiling Titan up. And so that was really interesting because I was wondering what the coordinate exactly was, and we finally got our answer. And so that was really cool because they had been foreshadowing that, and just they had been giving us a glimpse here and there of information and just hinting at it, and we finally got that down. So that was a pretty cool ability, pretty badass because I mean that's what allowed them to escape. And it was very weird that there were only a few soldiers from what it seemed protecting Irwin, while Connie, Jean, and Armin they were all off doing their own thing. And of course Armin was trying to save Jean, but ultimately Aaron helped again, and that was really really cool to see all of it just pan out and all and everyone just and everything just work out for everyone. And then Reiner's like, no, I gotta get the coordinate, and Aaron's like, get away from me, and he just uses the power again, and that was a pretty epic scene. And Bertolt, man, Bertolt was extremely scared, and that was just funny to watch. Bertolt was so scared. I was like, oh my goodness, this guy. And so Ymir ultimately makes a decision at that point. Should I stay with Reiner and Bertolt or, go with them? And she ultimately makes a decision to help out Reiner and Bertolt, and she saves them. And so after that battle, we get a briefing from Hanji and Connie where basically they find more evidence to strengthen their hypothesis that Titans are of human origin, which is actually, well, it's something that everyone's thought of from the beginning, honestly. When you look at Titans, they resemble humans, but again, it was just never answered. It was just much to be desired. But now we're finally getting some hard proof that, hey, they really are of human origin. And so they pretty much brief Erwin and Levi and Commander Pictures on that. And then we get this interesting smile from Erwin, like he's never made that face before, and it's just because he's overjoyed that they're really getting there. One step at a time, they're really getting there. While Levi seems to have some conflict within himself, like it seems like he doesn't like the idea of that he is essentially killing people, from what it seems, and he feels that it may not be very well worth the loss of all the lives. Because if you think about it, every victory that they've had, it's been a victory, but at the same time, they've lost so much every single time they've seemingly won. Think about the female Titan; they lost a lot of soldiers then. Think about the final fight with the female Titan; they lost lives there as well. Think about even now they lost a lot of lives. Erwin lost an arm, so they've just lost so much for these victories that can you even really consider them victories? And so then we get Erwin, or not Erwin, but then we get Aaron talking with Armin, Jean, and Mikasa, and basically he's telling them about how he's gonna basically atone for all the lives lost, and that he's gonna plug up, I believe, Wall Rose, and capture Reiner. And then real quick before I get to the really hype ending, it was really interesting to see that I didn't really catch this. I don't know how many other people caught this, but remember a few episodes back when we saw how Ymir, when we were getting the backstory on Ymir, and she ate Reiner and Bertolt's friends. Apparently, it seems that when a Mindless Titan eats a Titan Shifter, they gain what is called the power of the Titans, and they can just freely shift from human to Titan form at any given time. And apparently that's what that was. That's the way they were speaking. I didn't really understand, and it just hit me at the very end when she was talking with Reiner and Bertolt about how she pretty much borrowed the power. I was like, oh, so that's what happened. And at that point in time, Reiner, Bertolt, and their friend were heading to the wall to bust it open. So that's pretty interesting. Something that I caught. I don't know how many other people caught on to that, but I finally just understood. Oh, okay, so that's what she meant, and that's what happened. That was the significance of that scene, and that's what else was going on at the time. So that was interesting to me, at least. And so, again, remember how I told you guys in last week's review, don't forget about the Beast Titan. And sure enough, at the very end, between that wall and the other wall, we have a bunch of Titans that they're going to have to get through to plug the hole. But at the end of the other side, we see the Beast Titan, and we get a reveal of who's in there, and it's a blonde-haired, muscular man and he's using binoculars to see, using binoculars to see what's out there, and he sees, Aaron and all them, and he's like, not yet, eh? That was actually that was very hype, because I've been wanting to see who's in the Beast Time for the longest time because of the way he talks and just the ambiguity that he caused in general. So I'm hoping that we get a fight scene with the return of season 2, or not season 2, with the return of the show in season 3. I hope that we get a fight scene. That's going to be really interesting to see how, I guess, Aaron versus the Beast Titan pans out. And it really, all above everything else, it really sucks that we have to wait. I hope we don't have to wait long this time. I want to read the manga, But at the same time, I don't know, man, because it was worth the wait. It really was, to me at least. So I might not read the manga after all. But yeah, honestly, this episode was, in my opinion, it was fine. It was 10 out of 10. The animation was good. When you look at the scene from when you look at the one scene with Aaron screaming, and then you look at Mikasa when she was trying to calm Aaron down and basically tell him that no, you've done something. That was epic. Just the 3D maneuver gear was on point. Everything was so good. The art. I'd have to give this final episode a 10 out of 10. It just sucks that we gotta wait, but man, it was so good. Anyways, I'm thankful for all the people who watched the reviews that I put up. Will I review anything else? I'm not sure. This was more or less just me kind of testing the waters with this sort of thing. I would like to review in the future, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do it anytime soon because I want to focus on some other content. And yeah, this was really fun to do so. And if you enjoyed this review and you want to maybe catch some other reviews that I've done, you can look in the description. There will be a link to the playlist where you can watch all the reviews in one fell swoop. Thank you guys for watching. This is Serious Man Toby signing off.